Hello there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Csgo weapon guide. In this guide we'll be going over everything you need to know about the cheaper assault rifle option for the T side, the Galil AR. In this video I'll be going over the stats, both basic and detailed, the spread, recoil control, damage and more. There are markers in the description if you're looking for anything specific. An inexpensive rifle which does solid damage and can kill an enemy with a single headshot provided he does not have a helmet. The Galil AR has a 35 bullet magazine and its accuracy leaves much to be desired, so it's in its best interest to fire in short bursts. The Galil AR is most effective on short and medium distances. The damage you inflict decreases as the distance to your target increases, but you'll still be able to kill an armoured opponent with 2 shots, one to the head and one to the chest. But believe me, once you master it and you find your playstyle, the Galil can be a very rewarding weapon indeed. The Galil costs $1,800 in game and is the cheapest assault rifle in class. In casual you get $150 per kill, and in competitive you get $300. It fires a moderate 666 rounds per minute and has a base damage of 30, making it still one of the weaker hitting weapons in class, tying it second to last with the FAMAS and the SG553. Its damage per second is 333, giving it the same damage per second as the FAMAS and the SG553 again, also giving it the second lowest damage per second in class. Its armour penetration has a rating of 77.50, much like the AK-47, and it can also penetrate 2 layers like its fellow weapons in class. When carrying the Galil, you also have a movement speed of 215 units per second, making it one of the lighter automatic rifles in class. The Galil takes 1.10 seconds to deploy, making it the second fastest weapon swap suit in class. It takes 1.17 seconds to insert a new magazine, which gives it the same time as the AK-47, also making it the second fastest magazine insertion time in class. And when you're reloading and trying to fire, it takes 3.03 seconds, giving it a slight delay once you've reloaded before you can start firing again, much like the M4A4. However, this delay gives it the third fastest fire delay in class. It's all well and good having a decent reload speed, but what's more important is how much damage you can deal to your enemy. The exact damage the Galil deals is this. To a non-armoured opponent, you deal 120 damage to the head, which is an insta-kill, 30 to the chest and arms, 27 to the stomach, and 22 to the legs. To an armoured opponent, the Galil deals 92 damage to the head, so 2-shot kill, 23 to the chest and arms, 29 to the stomach, and 22 to the head. There isn't much of a difference between the damage dealt to enemies with and without armour, and it only reduces by a minor amount at best. The Galil deals normal damage anyways, and with a range modifier of 0.98, the damage drop-off when it comes to range isn't too bad. The decline is pretty consistent. When it comes to attacking enemies without armour, the Galil deals 29.88, which is rounded to 30 for its base damage, and then declines by a rate of 0.12 per 2.54 meters, giving it a TTK of 4 shots regardless of range. Against armoured enemies, the Galil deals a measly 23.16 damage at close range, and the damage declines by 0.10 damage between point blank and 7.62 meters, to which it then declines by a further 0.09 between the ranges of 7.62 meters onwards, giving it a TTK of 5 shots. Which sounds easy to do, except the recoil for the Galil leaves much to be desired, and especially at range. It can be challenging getting 5 consecutive shots on target, unless you tap it, which I have personally found success with at range. The uncontrolled recoil pattern of the Galil follows a sort of R pattern. From the moment you start firing, you'll feel it being extremely difficult to control, moving around all over the place. From the first to around the 9th and 10th bullet, the spray goes off to the right, and from there onwards it strays to the left and right from the peak of the original vertical spray. To control this, when you fire the Galil, drag downwards and to the right slightly. When the 8th and 10th round has been fired, drag the mouse to the left and then to the right and then to the left again. If you're tracking where you're firing, you should be able to get the general idea as to where you should point at, especially in close quarters. At long ranges, I definitely recommend sticking to tapping or very short bursts whilst popping in and out of cover. That's my typical method when using the Galil anyways, and it fares me quite well. Alternatively, because of the recoil getting worse at range, use it aggressively and get some kills early on for your team. I have rushed enemies with the Galil and done rather well with it, so you know, whichever tickles your fancy. Statistically, the recoil looks good on paper. The running spread for the weapon comes in at 123.56, meaning that it's pretty inaccurate when running at speed, even though it's the second best running spray in class. The standing spread comes in at 8.77, which actually gives it the second worst standing spread in class. It's pretty inaccurate when standing still, talking from experience, and even when tapping. And finally, the crouching spread is 6.58, which is still the second worst crouching inaccuracy in class. However, when using the Galil, I'd certainly recommend crouching and firing and then proceeding to fire in a burst. It's pretty weird. Its recoil magnitude is 21, giving it the second best recoil magnitude in class, and as standard it adds an additional 0.60 recoil per shot during prolonged automatic fire. Despite its faults, the Galil can still be a good option if you're unlucky enough to not be able to afford an AK, although most players would just opt to save that round and buy an AK the next round. I almost never see the Galil being used in competitive. The AK holds that honour. It mostly features in casual, but when you have your good days and everything seems to be going well, give the Galil a try, and you never know, it might surprise you. The pros of the Galil: it's cheap, it packs a small punch when needed, and means you're not entirely screwed if you're running low on funds, and it has a decent movement speed. The cons: its recoil sucks, and it can be outshot by most weapons, and it would never be as loved as the AK. All of this being said, everything we've covered in this video hopefully paints a picture about the Galil, and hopefully you can use all of this information to become better at the Galil if you're ever unfortunate enough to be forced to buy one due to lack of funding. And all of this, people, brings us to the end of this video. Hopefully it helps you, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you're still here, I thank you very much for watching. Do like and sub as always, and also, did I miss a feature? Is there a new segment of the weapon that I could explain to make the video better? Do let me know down below. And be sure to join us next time where we uncover all we need to know about the Galil's counterpart, of which I am actually a massive fan of, the FAMAS. Right, see you in a bit, bye.
You like to insult people?
Was that your feet?
Yes, it's the feet uppercut. Here comes the double foot. Smell it, smell it, smell it, now take it. That's for you.